Okay, hi. I wanted to talk about lining two different leathers together to create the right thickness of upper leather. So whether you're making sandals or mules or closed-toed shoes, the way I do it is I trace my patterns on thin, like the thinnest possible vegetable tan leather called 2 3-ounce leather. And really thin garment leather, which is also about 2 3-ounce. So thin suedes, that sort of thing. Anything really colored or considered garment leather is usually about 2 ounces. So for example, I'll use this mule pattern, and I'm going to trace a right and a left on this navy blue, and then I'll trace a right and a left on the vegetable tan, and then I'll show you how to glue them together. And because these are going to be glued together and then cut down a further time, you don't need to be very accurate with these cuts. So I just use the scissors because it's thin enough to cut with scissors, and cut them roughly out, and we'll just cut them down to size once they're glued together. So now we get to glue the vegetable tan to the suede. I'm just going to use water-based leather adhesive. It goes by many names, I'll write it down. And you just want to spread the glue generously all over the piece. And I put paper down so that I could kind of paint off the edges. And this glue, like we've used it before, maybe it needs 5 whole minutes to become tacky, and you'll watch it go from sort of white colored to clear. That's when you know that it's ready to be adhered to its other surface. Okay. The glues are looking nice and tacky to me, so I'm ready to join these two. Ooh, it's hard to not let it touch itself. So I'm going to just hover this suede over this and only let it join in the middle at first, and then I'll slowly lower this side, and then this side. The goal is to have no air bubbles. And it's okay if there's a little discrepancy in how they join, because I'll just reuse the pattern and trace a new line. So, okay, then you want to tap the whole entire surface with a hammer to make sure the layers are very compressed. And if you have a little anvil, that would be even better. Okay, and then it's okay if these two didn't line up properly here, because we're going to retrace this top line using the pattern we made. And then cut this with the scissors, and we're gonna cut inside of the line we drew so that it removes the line completely. Okay, so I'm cutting the second upper for the lined mules. And I just wanted to mention that this is all I do. I just glue the two together, hammer them, and I don't do any sewing because the way I've been making shoes is you pull it around the last and then you sometimes modify the top line depending on how you lasted it or if your feelings change about where you want the upper to land. So this way you can continue to cut into it and change the shape. If we had sewn the edges together, you wouldn't be able to modify it at all. It would be a fixed upper. And I've really found that over the years, these layers never come apart. They just stay glued together and it works perfectly well. So now these are ready to be lasted like you would with just vegetable tan leather. And the fact that they're vegetable tan on the inside creates that stiffness that you need to keep its shape.